Hi, and today I'm going to give you a very brief summary of the different tools and features I use to help my students collaborate in Office 365. Now the first thing to say is, although I wasn't there, I would assume when Office 365 came about, collaboration was at the forefront of everyone's mind because it is just perfect as a teacher to help students work together. A lot of the apps, a lot of the features in Office 365 have existed and were about, but they were all in different places, and what Office 365 does is bring them all together. So rather than having to go to 8 different websites to get things done, it can all be done from one site, which is brilliant for my students because it means they've just got one login and everything's there at the touch of a button. It also means all the apps work together and collaborate themselves as apps, which makes their job of collaborating easier. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things. The first one are the apps that I use in sites. The first one is the document library, and all that is really is a SkyDrive in the site. That's really handy for me because anyone can create documents in the site. It's brilliant for staff and students, so as well as creating OneNotes that obviously they can work together on and have a different colour and write to each other using, and create an Excel survey so that they can talk through their projects. It's brilliant because I can create an Excel spreadsheet. Now, as a maths teacher, we quite often test pupils and enter results so we can see how the whole year group's performing. And before Office 365, what we used to do is have a spreadsheet on our local network in school. One person would open it, and as soon as they did, it would lock everyone else out and it would be read-only for us while they edited it. With Office 365, that isn't a problem anymore. Everyone can get onto it at once, and everyone can edit their own results at once. It sounds like a silly thing, but it saves a massive amount of time. We have 15 teachers in our department, and if you're trying to wait for a document to become available, you could sometimes wait the entire day without being able to put your results in, which would really mess up your plans. The other thing is I can access this from home, so if I've taken their papers home to mark, I can type the answers straight in rather than having to wait to school the next day and typing them in there. As I already mentioned, surveys are brilliant, either using it this way or if you're a student using an Excel survey. It doesn't sound like necessarily a collaborative tool, but it's good for feedback on the way they're collaborating, so they can work together on a project, come up with some questions and ask other students, get that feedback and use that to inform their collaboration. Discussion board, again obviously each group can start their own discussion board and they can have all their notes under that discussion board. So that in itself is a way that they can collaborate and have their own discussion going on. I'm quickly going to talk about Newsfeed because I think there are two key things with Newsfeed that don't necessarily get picked up on. The first one is the importance of the app tag. And you'll see that a couple of minutes ago, just before I started filming this, I've put an app tag out to Student 1, Student 2 and Student 3. Now the benefit of doing that is, in their mentions icon here, they're now going to get that as a prominent message, so it means they won't miss it in the sort of jungle of all the other messages going on. So that's a really good way that they can send messages to each other quickly, but that everyone else can see. The second thing that gets underused, I think, is the hashtag. So hashtag maths is cool, remember Maths Club tonight. If I'm running a project in school, if I'm running a club, then that club or project can have its own hashtag and people can follow that. And again, it just means all the messages are kept together. It also means, for example, if a group are running a project, so if they're running a project on rivers, they can call it Rivers 2013 WP. And that can be their hashtag that they use, and every comment they then make that's got that hashtag they can follow and keep together in one place. The other brilliant thing about Newsfeed is that it's a conversation. Rather than it just being a post, it's a conversation. So if one person starts the conversation up and they keep replying to that conversation, all their messages are kept in one place so they can follow through all the different thoughts and they're all there. Final thing to help with collaboration, I think, other than Link, which we've talked about in some other tutorials, is People. And the benefit of People is it's going to show me who is online and who isn't. Again, it sounds like a silly thing to say, but just being able to go into there and see which of the people I'm working with are online is going to help me, because I know which ones I can instant message, which ones I can try and get hold of on Link, and which ones, if I send a file to or share a file with, are going to get that file and respond quite alright. And that is how we use Office 365, especially in my classrooms, to collaborate.